People wagwan. Welcome back to the Final Whistle podcast. I am Javon, and this is your Chelsea versus Newcastle match preview. Let's get into it. Now, Chelsea face Newcastle at Stamford Bridge on Sunday. I'm not gonna go over the timings again because it's all over the world. But yeah, Chelsea, we take on Newcastle. We're looking to bounce back from that defeat away against Liverpool, and we want to continue winning ways as we picked up a win in midweek over in Greece with the B team. So, yeah, let's get into the preview. Now, firstly, let's look at Enzo Maresca's match, pre-match press conference. Um, and some of the questions he was asked. Firstly, some of the telling points that I want to talk on. Yes, Enzo Maresca made statements on Reece James and not seeing him as a true leader. I guess for him, he wants his leader to be a bit more verbal and kind of just take up the mantle, getting the boys head up and be a leader on and off the pitch. And when you look at Reece James, it's kind of difficult to expect that from him when he's not even been fit. So I get where it's coming from, and I like that he called out Reece James in regards to this. So you know that you have to first get your fitness to a certain level, be available consistently, first of all, and then once that is done, then you can take up the mantle. And I think calling him out on this is good because it will inspire him to go levels in that department. He said he sees Tosin as a leader. Tosin could be a good leader in his dressing room, but even him, his performances has to be at that elite level as well. Because for me, a leader, you're doing it on the pitch and off the pitch. And on the pitch, you're someone we can look to carry out the gaffer's instruction and to also make changes with your performances. So that's good on that. I don't have any problem with it. And Zamareska, another good job. Then I immediately want to get to something I found that was spicy. A journalist asked Enzo Maresca about his Liverpool substitution where he brought on Nkunku and put Nkunku off the left. And I'm like, okay, this is something I would have asked if I was there. Enzo Maresca said he doesn't see Nicholas Jackson playing out on the left hand side, playing out wide on the left hand side, and he sees Nkunku that he can play across anywhere in the front three. And he gave an example of an alternative that he could have done, which would put Palmer out on the right and Nkunku in the middle. And he said at that time, that's the situation he kind of saw, or that's the resolution he kind of saw, which was, hey Enzo, if that's what you say, that's what you say. I think I'm in agreement. I think the fan base would be in agreement with me when we say we don't want to see Kuku on that left hand side ever again, playing through the middle, because that's where you get that's where it's more effective. So yeah, I'm glad that reporter asked that question. He was then asked about what's his expectation going into the Newcastle game. He said Newcastle would be a very physical team, and he doesn't expect this to be an easy game, so he's not underestimating Newcastle, which is good. And this is where we get into my thoughts, right? I've been on streams this week, and I was speaking to a Newcastle fan, and he is telling me their season has been god awful thus far this season. And with that being said, and they really have any open play goals. Their attack is not firing. Their defense is leaky, and even Nick Pope has bozo moments. So with that being said, I'm expecting a dominant performance from this Chelsea team. Right? Don't let what happened at Liverpool let you get your head down. This is where we come back roaring with chest. This is where the lion from the badge walks out and roars. This game, I want a dominant performance. I want everyone to be on point. I want us to put the league on notice that, hey, don't mind that Liverpool result. Liverpool are a good team right now, and they're being managed properly on the slot. That doesn't mean that we're crap, or that doesn't mean we're not good this season, right? So after speaking with that Newcastle fan, he says he expects it. He expects it. So in my opinion, I'm expecting a dominant win. I'm expecting us to show up and show out. Whether it's a 4-0 or a 2-0 with a dominant performance, I just expect us to blow Newcastle out the water in this game. Like, I just remember, like, comment, share, subscribe, comment if you think I'm wrong, and we'll see what happens. Let's get into my starting 11 now. Let's get into it. Let's get into the starting 11, and let me share my screen here. All right, so this is my starting 11. Cool. It is against Newcastle. One of the key things in this game is going to be physicality, but also the transitional play. The transitional play has to be quick, and we have to make our wingers our wingers have to take advantage of the opportunities they're given. And I'm looking for Sancho and Madueke to rise and Cole Palmer to show up and show Jackson to get their goal. But let's get into the starting 11. In goal, we have Robert Sanchez at right back, which would effectively be a right centre back. We have Reece James. Right centre back, we have Fofana. Left centre back, we have Colwell, and at left back, we have Kukurea. In the midfield, defensive pair in the 2-6 positions, quote unquote, we have Caicedo and Lavia. Number 10, we have Cole Palmer. Right, Madueke. Left, Jadon Sancho. In the middle, Nicholas Jackson. We could, essentially, we could be seeing something like this, right? Where Kukurea steps in the middle of the park, and it becomes a back three, with James playing right centre back, and we would essentially have something like this. I don't. This would be ideal for me because I don't necessarily want Caicedo bombing two ways forward, but he would be in these positions to play those passes in behind to Caicedo, and through either slot, play those passes with Sancho, um, link up with Sancho, but at the same time have the defensive awareness to kind of sit in a pocket of space here and let Cole Palmer room free underneath the front three and even make runs into the box. So, but here's the thing. Against Liverpool, in the same position, we saw Gusto bombing forward. His Gusto was everywhere. Even Thursday, Kai said Cucurella was doing the same thing. So it's how I'm still yet to see how he's going to define this role, because this role as the inverted fullback doesn't necessarily have a specific role where it's whether to tuck in with another six. Because sometimes we see them up here while attacking, in the box, taking shots at goal. So we'll see how it's done. But essentially, this is what we see in the game from time to time. Caicedo in this like center midfield, playing those passes, and we'll see Lavia in the first phase taking the ball and transitioning. Now, reason why I said we're going to get into it, and it might be a thinker. What happens to Enzo Fernandez? Now, Enzo Fernandez has been a topic of discussion for this fan base since the start of the season. His performances have not been the best. His performances, passing wise, for his best attribute, has been underwhelming, and you cannot dispute that. So the reason why I have Lavia in my starting lineup is because how his performances against Liverpool in that first phase was immense, and I want to see more of that. Like a fiend, I need more of that. Like I say, Caicedo in midfield, and maybe Enzo Fernandez can come on because remember Enzo Fernandez I think played 70 minutes midweek. So he could come on in this game. He could get the game ticking over. He could, build up to that level that we expect from him. But then again, I wouldn't be shocked if Enzo Fernandez starts, because this is not a excellent Newcastle side. So Enzo Fernandez could slot in to start, and then Lavia comes back. You can use it to either way you look at it will be managed in Lavia's fitness, because Lavia is not going to play the full 90. And it's the same thing with Reece James. Gusto could start and Reece James comes on, but I expect Reece James to start to give Gusto that rest. and then the substitute, he comes in as Gusto comes in as a substitute. Maybe only give Reece James 45 minutes if the game is wrapped up. If we have a two goal or a 3 goal lead at them, depending on how the game is going. Remember, we have Newcastle midweek in the cup, so they're gonna be household changes, and I think there's gonna be one or two of the first team players in there. Caicedo, Gusto, in there. So that's another game we have to um think about in the near future as well. Kukurea, I don't think Kukurea might not even play the full 90. That's another conversation. Vega could come in and play. People are even saying Gusto would play left back. I just think this lineup is the best lineup we could go with. This may be our strongest 11. Pedro Neto could come in and start this game, and Madueke could play midweek or vice versa. But I think Enzo Maresca is a Madueke guy, so Madueke will be rested midweek, and Neto could play. As well as Neto could play on the left. But then, these are good problems to have, because what do we do with Mudrik? Mudrik has had a great performance against not Soviet, Panathinaikos midweek in Greece. Yeah, he should get minutes in this game. He should get minutes in this game. Give Sancho 60, put Mudrik on, see what he can show, and then give Mudrik the start on Tuesday, I think. So yeah, these are all in all, these are good problems to have. I'm not gonna rattle along. Please remember to like, share, subscribe. I'm looking for a dominant performance tomorrow, either a 2-0 win or a 4-0 win. The scoreline doesn't necessarily have to reflect, but we have to be dominant. And I want a clean sheet. So, up the Chels. Thank you for joining us on the Final Whistle podcast. Peace.